I was pretty bored of being in houses, and I mean, even then, back in the 90s, you know, the mortgages were lower, but you were still left with practically zero at the end of the month. I mean, it's quite basic. So, like, if we live like this, you don't have the choice of just lying in bed all day. And people seem to be under the illusion that is what we do all day in vehicles. But no, we have to get up and light our fire. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to keep warm. We have to either make sure our wind generators are working correctly, or our solar panels are getting the sun at the right angle. If I don't have any wood, because for some reason I've run out of money, or I'm not parked in the wood and there's not wood on the ground, then I'm going to be cold that day. But those days are like, you know, those are the days when really I should spring out of bed early and just go and sort out my wood. So we're completely living off grid. You know, wood is a sustainable resource if you're getting it from forests and stuff. And you know, so we're doing as much as we can by consuming as little as we can and still remaining active. And we're certainly not flushing five litres of drinking water down the toilet pan every time we go to the toilet.
Yeah.
And the same with our electricity. You know, I'm not using any nuclear power, so think about that. Most members of the public, they don't come inside our vehicles. I mean, I know lots of people who always invite members of the public in, but equally I know people who don't like to invite any members of the public in. So I think few get to see inside, few get to have the conversations that we're having now. So they've got all their, they're not really prejudiced, they're government-led prejudice really. As soon as the government starts talking about unproductive members of society, is it going to be okay for those of us who don't want to do the chain gang 9 till 5, 2 weeks holiday a year, or live in Legoland? Are we going to be allowed to do that, really? How free is our society? So this is where I live. This is one solar panel, but I've got 6 more on the roof. So obviously this is providing me all the electricity. So this is what we used to call sort of like the office, front of house, a small diesel heater, which just drips 1 drop of diesel. It can be different sorts of fuel. You can probably use like all your different sorts of cooking oil, and there is ways of making it eco-friendly. This little thing, which is an inverter box, which step down electric from the sun, so you can run all your laptops and your phones and everything apart from an electric kettle, basically. So here's my beautiful, lush German fire. Wood or coal or whatever you can get hold of course no plastics. Gas cooker needs a clean, everybody, please excuse the fact my cooker's not very clean. But when I'm just generally hanging out and chilling in it, I just have these as beds and couches and comfy. I've only insulated it temporary with feather duvets behind here. You can, of course, you can do it in wood. I've done it in wood before. With your curved wooden panels with proper bought insulation from the shops. It's not very expensive, the wood, 6mm ply. It's a bit flexible, so you can shape it to the size of your van or the shape of the roof. Easy peasy. Going into what used to be my children's room, but they've all grown up and left home now, and I'm left with the proverbial what to do with a kid's bedroom. So at the moment it's the kitchen and a shed and a spare room. So kitchen bit, water pump, water containers underneath. You can get electric pumps if you want and press the button, but obviously the more electricity you consume and the more solar panels you have to have. But solar panels are getting cheap. So quite a big space. Like I say, it used to be my children's room. 2 bunk beds, youngest boy on the bottom and daughter on the top. And then this used to be a table where they would do all their homework, and they're all doing good, so it must have worked.
And the supply of homes for sale has tumbled to its lowest level since records began in 1978. The shortage of homes for sale is it's helping to push up the price of homes, and surveyors expect prices to rise about 25% in the next 5 years.
if you're a young couple or a single person, but mostly it's couples, isn't it? And you want to get onto the housing market. I mean, in reality, unless your parents or your grandparents are going to give you probably a minimum of £50,000, £100,000 for a deposit, you're probably not going to be able to get on that list. And if you're an educated person, before you even start to get on that list, you've got your huge debt you've had to borrow to get for university. So if you come out of university and get a job and you choose to live like we do, you're saving literally for sure all of your rent. So whatever you're paying for rent in London, you're not going to have to pay any if you're living in a vehicle. You're not going to have to pay for mains water connection, you're not going to have to pay for mains gas, you're not going to have to pay hundreds of pounds for electric every year. You're still going to have your laptop, you're still going to have your phones, you're still going to have your showers and your cookers and your heating and your wood burner, you're still going to have your friends around for dinner, but you're saving yourself £2,000 a month probably. First of all, you've got to see it, to be able to see that it's an available choice, and more and more people are coming to this way of life. It is going to be a repeat of what happened in the 90s when, for different reasons, but we had high numbers of unemployment, Thatcher wasn't building any council houses, you know, people got forced out of the houses or lost their jobs, whether they were educated or not. That was happening across the board, and that's going to be the same now. But now I'm actually looking at the number of homeless people around in England, just around our local area. I mean, now we're in Glastonbury now, we've got 20, 30 people sleeping rough essentially, and every big city has, and every day when it's cold people are dying because of that. That also needs, you know, that needs attention. Keep pushing the governments of the world to make the right decisions. You can really park it anywhere you like, and you know, if you want to go and stay on the beach, you drive to the car park near the beach, and you pay your £170 a day and you live on the beach. And if you want to go and park on the top of a hill or top of a mountain in Wales, you drive to Wales and you park on top of a mountain. And in houses you can't do that. You're going to look out of your window for the next 25 years, you're going to see the same view. You know, we're going to get, you know, a stressy day might be a day when someone decides, a random policeman might turn up and say you have to move, and so, you know, don't get me wrong, there are you know, stressy days just the same as if you're in a house. You're going to get a bad day, you're going to get a good day. You're not totally removed from all of that, but you are more in control of it, being as you maintain your own vehicle, you supply your own gas and your own electricity, you don't really get any bills. So I feel it's more comfortable. Nothing's going to pop through my letterbox. I don't have a letterbox. I'm not going to ever receive a bill. Jesus was a traveller who went from town to town. He had a sort of vehicle, a cart pulled by a cow. He didn't get moved on then by loads of angry police. Indeed, you could park anywhere and travel as you please. Because Jesus was a traveller, a dirty, scrounging bum. I guess he moved around a lot for carpentry and fun. And free parties, he had many. People came from miles around. Because Jesus was a traveller, he was persecuted too.